Welcome back to Homedale, New Jersey, right off the Atlantic Ocean, St. John Vianney High School. This is the first round of the New Jersey State Tournament in the non-public Group B bracket. The 9th seed Pope John Lions trailing the 8th seed St. John Vianney Lancers by a score of 21-17. What an entertaining third quarter. A 75-yard touchdown run on a kickoff by Zane Carswell. A 30-yard touchdown reception by Carswell. And in between, a touchdown for St. John Vianney. There's your score, 21-17. The Lancers threatening again here to start the fourth quarter. 1st and 10 at the 11. They can get a first down at the 1. No, 2nd and 1. LaBarca keeps, rolls to the outside. He is tackled, I think, behind the line, so that's going to bring up 3rd down. Lost 2. Now they mark it at the 12, so they say he lost 1. 3rd and 2. First down markers at the 10. Is it the 10 or the 9? They say 3rd and 3 on the board, so let's go with it. 3rd and 3 from the 12. They have to get to the 9. LaBarca in the gun. Handoff, 26 right at the middle into the end zone. Touchdown, St. John Vianney. Corley Thomas. A 12-yard touchdown run. And St. John Vianney goes up 27-17 with the point after pending. Clock stopped with 11:13 to go in the fourth quarter. Justin Campese will attempt the point after. There's a snap, placed down, kicks up. It's good. Campese hits the point after with 11:13 to go in the fourth quarter. The St. John Vianney Lancers lead the Pope John Lions 28-17. We'll be right back on Pope John Lions TV on YouTube.
The last up 49, Justin JJ jacked up Campese for the Lancers. Back to return the kick, number 19, along with number 4, Pope John, St. Carswell. On receive the kick for St. John Vianney.
Welcome back to St. John Vianney High School in Homedale, New Jersey, where the St. John Vianney Lancers are just taking a 28-17 lead on the Pope John Lions. Mike Formisano here on Pope John Lions TV on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining us. Kickoff by Campese. It's on the ground and picked up right by Pope John, number 28 on the play. So line drive, kick, and recovered by Owen Hoole. So that'll give the Lions good field position as they start out 1st and 10. (11-11), Cornett. 1st and 10 for the Lions from their own 39-yard line. Luke Irwin in the gun. Luke Gianella behind him. 4 receivers set for the Lions. Irwin, pass to Joshua. Makes the catch. Gets to about the 42. Stop there. Number 2, Khalid Goodman-Ware on the tackle. But Pope John getting to that point in the game where they're going to need to score a touchdown. Get the ball turned over one way or another on downs, interception, fumble, whatever, and score again in order to take the lead. They're down by 11 right now with 10:43 to go in the fourth. Still time to go. However, it's not their friend right now. Irwin back to pass. Looking downfield. Home run ball to Carswell. Makes the catch. Gets down to the 15-yard line. Oh, great catch by Zane Carswell. And Khalid Goodman-Ware is the only reason he didn't get in the end zone. Oh, there you go. You want to make time your friend again? Do a play like that. Irwin to Carswell, all the way down to the 15 and into the red zone. They'll actually give him an extra yard. They give him the 14. 10:18 to go. The Pope John crowd working into a lather here. 1st and 10, Lions. Irwin in the shotgun. Gianello over his right shoulder. The handoff to Luke. Luke goes to the near hash mark. Looking for the corner of the end zone. Can't get there. He gets stopped at the 6. Good hard run by Luke Gianella. So a gain of 7 for Gianella. 2nd and 3 for Pope John. They can get a first. They get down to, the 4-yard line, right? Irwin in the gun. Looks for Carswell. Carswell makes the catch. Trying to plow toward the end zone there. He gets to about the 2. That should be good enough for a first. Yeah, first down, Pope John. 1st and goal now. From the 2-yard line. 9:19 and counting. Pope John looking to punch this in quickly and get back on defense. Try and stop St. John Vianney, which has been a challenge here in this second half. Irwin in the gun. Takes a snap. Gianella right through the middle. Did he cross the plane? Referee saying no, just shy of the goal line. 2nd and goal at the 1. Pope John's still waiting for a touchdown signal. It's not going to come, I don't think. No huddle. They want to go, go, go. 8:40 to go. Irwin in the gun. Snap. Hand up to Gianella right through the middle. And they stopped him. Wow, Gianella stopped. Goodman-Ware. And a flag afterwards. I think they're going to get him for a celebration penalty. Number 11, Isaiah Shade, jumping up and down, celebrating that tackle. I think they're going to get penalized for it.
Flag was waved off.
Well, they're waving off the flag. They can do that. You throw the flag, you throw it for a reason, right? That's what I was taught. 3rd and 1. I mean, you're going to throw the flag, then throw the flag and call the penalty. They know what they were thinking. They saw what happened. All right, 3rd and 1. 3rd and goal from the 1, right outside the end zone. And St. John Vianney is going to call time. Is that what the whistle is here?
3rd and goal. Pope John. Ball spun inside the 1-yard line.
All right, I think they're telling St. John Vianney to back up behind the sideline. 3rd and goal from the 1. Irwin takes a snap, hand off to McNone. Did he get over? They say just shy. 4th and 1. 7.5. And I'll tell you what, this is the season right here. 4th and goal from the 1-yard line. Clock down to 7:15 remaining. Irwin in the gun. McNone behind him. Here it is, now under center. And Irwin trying to get over. Flag on the play. He's into the end zone. No, Goodman-Ware has the ball. And he's racing down to the end zone. Is the referee following? And they call a touchdown. Can't imagine that's going to stand. I don't see the referee reversing it. I have seen 52 years of football. I've never seen that. I've never seen that. 4th and goal at the 1. And Goodman Ware stole the ball and raced 99 yards for a touchdown. St. John Vianney takes a 34-17 lead. I have never seen that. Campese back for the extra point. Here's the snap, placed down, kick is up, it's good. An incredible turn of events with 6:47 to go. Khalid Goodman Ware steals the ball just shy of the goal line and races back 99 yards for a touchdown. St. John Vianney goes up 35-17 with 6:47 to go, and Pope John's season is now on the brink. We'll be back right after this on Pope John Lions TV on YouTube. Welcome back to Homedale, New Jersey, and I think the Pope John contingent, and I know myself, I'm in a state of shock right now. 35-17, St. John Vianney has gone up by 18 over Pope John. A 99-yard touchdown by Khalid Goodman Ware, stealing the ball at the goal line and racing back 99 yards for a touchdown. I can't believe it stood. And a penalty afterwards against Pope John. So the Lancers, 15-yard penalty. They're going to kick off from the Pope John 45. Carswell and Weinstock back to receive. It goes through the end zone. Touchback. 1st and 10 from the 20. Well, the offense, which has been shelved most of this game, as St. John Vianney has dominated time possession, they're now going to be put to work. Head coach Dom Gaston is going to ask for his Lions to score 18 points or more in the next 6:47, or else their season is complete. I still cannot believe what I just saw. Irwin in the gun, trips left. Low snap, he handles it. Looks to the sideline. He's got Carswell. Makes the catch. Now, the one thing, if you're a Pope John fan, that you can take solace in is the fact that this is a big play team, and they have explosive players, and they have players who can get big chunks of yardage in a short amount of time. This is what they're going to need right now. 6:41 to go. Irwin in the gun. Looks down to Joshua. Joshua on the near side. Goodman Ware pushes him out of bounds at about the 36. That's good enough for first down. No, that was first down. So 6-yard gain for Joshua. So 2nd and 4. Clock down to 6:36. We'll try, we don't have the graphics on the screen, so we'll try and keep you abreast of the clock as much as possible. Irwin back to pass, looking downfield. Has Carswell at the 45. Escapes the tackle. Carswell gets another 5 yards to the 50. And out of bounds. Good effort by Zane Carswell. Now 6:27 to go. Ball at midfield. On the near hash, right at midfield.
First down, Wyatt.
Irwin in the gun. Snap. Pass over to Joshua. Joshua makes the catch. Gets to about the 45 and out of bounds. Smart by the Lions to take the sidelines as much as possible to try and preserve as much clock as possible. It was 1st and goal from the 2. The Lions were about to go in to make it 28-23 with a point after pending. And the entire script changed. 35-17 now your score. Timeout by St. John Vianney. Pope John preserving their 3 timeouts. We're going to take a quick timeout. We'll be right back to Homedale after this. 35-17 Lancers lead over the Lions. 6:21 to go, 4th quarter. Right back after this on Pope John Lions TV on YouTube. Welcome back. No timeout call by St. John Vianney. So Pope John heads back to the field. On the far hash mark of the 46. Irwin in the gun. Snap. Drops back to pass. Being chased. Wrapped up by number 4. Manny Rodriguez with the sack.
Manny Rodriguez. Sack Lancers. Lost on the play.
So the ball now placed between the 41 and 42 yard line of Pope John on the far hash mark. 3rd and long. 5:55 to go. Irwin takes the snap. Flushed out of the pocket. Forward pass, incomplete. Kind of flipped it, trying to hit Luke Gianella. But it fell to the turf incomplete. Fourth and long.
That'll bring up Lancer down.
Irwin back to the huddle. This will be a tough one for Pope John to digest. They'll have all off season to do it if they don't get a first down here and get some points on the board. Irwin, shotgun. Snap. Drops back to pass. Fires downfield. Romano makes the catch to the 35 of St. John Vianney and out of bounds at the 34. So that's good enough for a first down, and boy, did Pope John need that. 5:34 to go. The ball now at the St. John Vianney 33. If the Lions can get into the end zone here and score 7, maybe 8, you're talking about, a possibility. Look, St. Thomas Aquinas was down 26-7 with the 4 minutes to go last week. They came down to the final play of the game. Catch on the sideline. That's Romano. Out of bounds at the 25. Spot the ball at the 26 of St. John Vianney. Clock stopped with 5:29 to go in the 4th. Irwin in the shotgun. Gianella to his left. Ball hit the turf. He picked it up. Irwin is going to race to the far side. He's going to keep it down to about the 20, maybe 18. Tackled there. Clock rolling. Nope, 5:18 is stopped. First down. They're going to move the chains and they'll start the clock again. Ball at the St. John Vianney 18-yard line. Clock down to 5:05 remaining. Irwin shotgun. Looking to the end zone. It rolls to his left. Still rolling. Fires. Incomplete. Out of bounds. Prince Joshua, the intended receiver. Clock down to 4:49 remaining in the 4th.
Second down. No game. Under 5 minutes. Ball makes spot the Lancer 18-yard line. Second down. Lions.
So the Lions back up to the line. 4:49 to go in the 4th. 2nd and 10. Irwin in the gun. Gianella to his left. Four receivers set. Irwin looking across the middle. Did he make the catch? No. Incomplete.
Pass is incomplete for the quarterback number 2, Luke Irwin.
Intended for number 7, Matthew Rodriguez.
Number 7, Matthew Rodriguez. The pass is incomplete.
So, 3rd and 10 for the Lions. 4:42 to go.
3rd down.
Ball in the far hash. Lions are in the red zone. Irwin in the gun. Trips left. Snap. Irwin flushed out of the pocket. Rolling to his left. Fires for the end zone. Incomplete. Over the head of Luke Romano. Goodman wear on him. And now that'll bring up 4th down. And so obviously the Lions going to go for it here. So 4th and 10 for Pope John. Here's the season. Irwin in the gun. Drops back to pass. Looking. Flushed out. Rolling to his left. Oh, he's wrapped up. Number 11. Isaiah Shade. And a turnover on down. St. John Vianney will take over with 4:26 to go in the 4th quarter. And the Lancers leading 35-17. It is amazing the plays you see that change a game. And in a half a century of watching football, I've never seen a play that we saw here tonight. I've never seen a 4th and goal to 1 where they take the ball from the offensive team and race on. You see players try it all the time, and the referees blow the whistle and they come back. Never seen it stand. Never. Saw some video work of the goal line too, and the rumor around the crow's nest here is that Pope John was in. First and 10, LaBarca. Hand off to Thomas. Up the middle, gains about 3. Well, high school football, you don't have video replay, so you got to work to get that. 4:10 to go, 4th quarter. 2nd and 8.
Second down, Lancer.
St. John Vianney's letting the clock run. Pope John does have all 3 of their timeouts, but they're down by 3 scores. This is going to be a tough one to digest. Barca takes, hand up to Thomas, up the middle, cuts right through the middle, still on his feet, into Pope John territory, tackled by McNone and Yazir Register. First down for St. John Vianney with 3:28 to go.
Well, he spies the Pope John 45-yard line. First down, Lancer.
Lancers up to the line. First and 10 from the Pope John 45. Snap. LaBarca keeps, goes to the far side. Griffin meets him there and drives him out of bounds. Good read by Key Griffin. 2:44 to go here in the 4th. And head coach Tom Gaston wants time. Pope John's first timeout used. We'll take one as well. 2:43 to go, fourth quarter. St. John Vianney leading Pope John 35-17. We'll be back after this on Pope John Lions TV on YouTube. Welcome back to Homedale, New Jersey and St. John Vianney High School. Fourth quarter action between Pope John and St. John Vianney. The Lancers leading 35-17. Mike Formisano here on Pope John Lions TV on YouTube. Second and 11 for St. John Vianney from the Pope John 46. LaBarca hands off to Thomas. Thomas sweeps to the center of the field. Tackled by Alex Schreiber. Also Sean Bauman, another tackle and another timeout as Pope John calls their second. We'll stay with you. Zane Carswell returned that kickoff for 75 yards to start the third quarter. I absolutely thought Pope John had to come back in him. I really did. And then when he scored from 30 yards out to cut it to 4 again, I said, well, there's no way they're going to shut down this offense the way the offense is rolling. It took a play from the gods to be able to go ahead and turn it around. A 4th and 1 from the goal line. And Khalid Goodman Ware, stole the ball and raced 99 yards up the field. Nobody else was standing around at the end zone. It was just him racing to the far end zone and the referee going with him. And I was like, no, there's no way the referee's going to raise his arms in the touchdown signal. And sure enough, he did. 3rd and 6 for St. John Vianney. Hand up to Thomas. Right up the center of the field. Gets to the 35. Should be enough for a first down. Corley Thomas with the first down. 2.5 minutes to go, and now Pope John calls their final timeout. You measure different moments of the season and how close you come. And Pope John, first and goal from the 2. And then the 2nd and goal, 3rd and goal, 4th and goal, all from the 1. You figure they're going to go ahead and find a way to get in. Now, sometimes it doesn't happen. Sometimes the goal line stands. You certainly didn't think the ball was going to be returned for a touchdown the other way. That was the game right there. Sometimes you argue about the turning point of the game. Okay, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. That was it, right there. Pope John was going to cut that lead to at least 5, if not 4. 28-23 with a point after pending. Maybe a 2-point conversion, who knows. And plenty of time left, too. Still plenty of time left in the game at that point in time. 1st and 10, St. John Vianney. LaBarca keeps it up the middle. And LaBarca takes a hit from Rocco Marchese right around the head area. But it doesn't matter as LaBarca gets the first down. So St. John Vianney's going to get their payback from last year's 48-14 semifinal loss to Pope John. As they're going to win this one here at home. They lead 35-17 with 2:01 to go. And for Pope John, question of what if. And in a few weeks, they'll go ahead and digest all the great things that they did this season throughout the football program. And there is a lot to look forward to as the year comes on for 2026. But nobody's going to want to think about that at least for a few weeks. Here's Thomas up the far hash. Maybe January they'll think about it.
Initial tackle by Pope John, number 5.
Minute 18 to go. This is going to be a bitter end for the Pope John season. Ball spotted at the 22-yard line of Pope John. 2nd down. Pope John can't stop the clock. So, St. John Vianney will go into victory formation, I believe. No? Shotgun for LaBarca. Hand up to Thomas, right up the middle. Thomas brought down at about the 15-yard line. Should be good enough for another first down with 37 seconds to go. We got a flag down on the turf. That's why the clock is stopped.
Personal foul penalty being marked off against St. John Vianney.
Oh, personal foul against St. John Vianney. So that'll push them back. Ball now at the 30 of Pope John. 37 seconds to go. 3rd and long for St. John Vianney. And now St. John Vianney takes victory formation. They take a knee. And that will do it. The St. John Vianney Lancers are going to advance to the second round of the New Jersey State Tournament Group B non-public division as they defeat the Pope John Lions tonight. Final score, St. John Vianney 35, Pope John 17. And you feel for the Pope John football team, you feel for the seniors. We're going to be graduating now. This is their last chance to perform for the Lions here in Sparta, New Jersey. You feel for the coaches, fans. Yeah, it's tough to lose games like this, but when you lose definitively on a single play that just turns everything around, it makes it tougher to swallow. Pope John's record goes to 2-8 on the season as they conclude the 2025 year. A 2-7 season on a brutal schedule, but they go ahead and advance to the playoffs as the number 9 seed and are knocked out first round by the number 8 seed St. John Vianney Lancers. St. John Vianney ups their record to 5-5, and they will take on DePaul Catholic next Friday night in Wayne, New Jersey in the second round of the non-public Group B bracket. So the dream for Pope John, returning to MetLife Stadium and challenging for the 21st state title, has concluded for 2025. But this is a proud program that will rebuild and reload and go for winning that 21st state championship even next year. A lot to look forward to. A lot of underclassmen are coming in that are bright, bright talents, but not the night to think about that. Night to think about what could have been and what has been accomplished by Pope John. And so we congratulate the 2025 Pope John Lions. I'm sure they don't want to hear it, but we congratulate them on their best effort put forward. Defeated, but not disgraced. This is the end of the fall football season. We look forward to the winter season now. Ice hockey, basketball, boys and girls, even wrestling, maybe swimming, and a few other events too. And we hope to go ahead and bring it forward to you here on Pope John Lions TV on YouTube. That is the hope. And we will see what happens. So, for everyone here in Homedale, New Jersey, as Mike Formasano saying, thanks for joining us once again. Final score from St. John Vianney High School. The St. John Vianney Lancers defeat the Pope John Lions 35-17. I want to thank everyone from the parents to the players themselves, to the administration, to Pope John, to you for following us all season long. And we'll see you in 2026 for more Pope John football. We hope to see you in the winter season for winter sports. This is Pope John Lions TV on YouTube. Mike Formasano saying thank you and have a pleasant night.